Hello everyone, I'm Rhys Madigan.
And I'm Charles Lloyd.
And we're here today at Soho Screening Rooms, premiering our brand new short film, The Wolf.
Yes, it's been quite a fun few months.
Yeah, about 3-4 months we've been making this film.
Yeah.
So from script to finished edits. I mean, we've laughed, we've cried, got bored. But it's actually meant to be a really special day today because it's kind of like a big thing for us, really, isn't it? This is the biggest thing we've ever done. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, introduce you on the stage, producer Charlie Lloyd, Sammy Simmons, Ryan McGregor, and Rennie Costa. Okay, we'll just wait till Rennie comes down the stairs.
Yeah.
In about 20 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, right. Does anyone have a question? Emma Dark.
Yeah.
Hello.
So the kind of theme you were going for with the music and the kind of dancing and slightly comedy pieces reminded me a little bit of the scene from A Clockwork Orange.
Yes.
Yeah. Were you going for that kind of thing?
Actually, I wasn't, but I'm glad you said that. Because Clockwork Orange is actually my second favourite movie of all time. I mean, Peter and the Wolf is the main theme, obviously, but what I was aiming for was a sort of thriller, comedy, suspense. It was kind of more like a Jaws film I was kind of going for, because obviously we don't see much of Chris Hampshire the Wolf, but then when he starts to rise, he starts to, show himself even more. It's a little bit as well like Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs. So I was sort of aiming for that sort of thing, but not making it way too dark or gory or, suspenseful. Well, not too suspenseful or anything like that. So, but I'm glad you picked up on that. So that's good. Anyone else? Sharon?
How long did it take you to film everything?
Film. What do you want from the script or the film? Like filming? The filming.
It's 2 months around.
Yeah,
about.
started around. It was October, I think we started. Because I started with Sammy and Rennie with the scenes with the grandpa and grandson scene, and then I filmed with Chris his solo parts in just before Christmas, in December, and we filmed together mid-December, I think, didn't we? With Ryan and Izzy.
Mid-December, and then the final scenes were in like early February.
Early February. Yeah.
So it was around 3 months.
3-4 months.
3
Yeah.
months, yeah.
But I wrote the script. I actually announced the project back in July, like because we done a film, didn't we, in the Summer Wonders of Alice, which was a pain in the arse to make. I'm not going to lie. and
I know that feeling too well.
Bad memories. Luckily, there's a reboot coming. More about that later.
That'll be a lot better. Though.
Yeah, much better. No, yeah. I mean, I wrote this. Well, I had the idea. Like visually, I had the idea as a draft probably back since 2014 actually, when we started our first feature film. But I didn't really say anything because obviously we didn't have the actors or the proper equipment to actually go off and make it. So what I do is when I write an idea, I put like an ideas draft in my notes, and then I expand on it and think, oh yeah, and I go back on it if I need to think of a new idea, even though it's old, but think of it to make it new. I'm making sense, right?
Yeah, you are making sense.
Okay, good. And so yeah, I mean, I had it shelved for like 3 years, and then when it was July in the summer, I just finished Cash in the Pond, my third feature film. Elika will know what that was, and Ryan as well. Ryan, you was in that film. Cash in the Pond, yeah.
Yes, I was.
And and then I thought, well, after The Wonders of Alice, we said that me and Charlie said we would start adapting fairy tales in a very odd way, didn't we?
Oh yeah, it's actually more convenient because we can go off from the story from there and actually make it our own. So that's one of the reasons, and we don't have to have a hassle of copyright either.
Exactly, and so I thought Peter and the Wolf was a great story as well because I grew up with it. I mean, I love the music, I love the characters. The duck is my favourite. This is why I played the duck. I love the idea, but I thought about to try and modernise it. It was quite difficult, but when we did The Wonders of Alice, I had a better idea of what to do, to turn the characters and wear the costumes, and then I thought, what if they went to a fancy dress party dressed as the characters, and then it all went completely wrong, and so but obviously the wolf had to be the bad guy. So how do we make this bad guy turn into a wolf, and he goes into a fancy dress party, and what you see is what you got.
Yeah.
Anything else?
What made you use the characters as musical instruments?
That's basically from the original story.
Oh, is
of
it? I
Peter
haven't
and the
seen.
Wolf.
He was just saying to me about it.
So in the
Yeah.
original Peter and the Wolf, they used like in the animated features or
Oh, did
like
they?
other feature films, they used instruments to represent the characters. Hence why you see in this film there was instruments to represent the characters. Obviously.
I mean, because it's originally a symphony. It was made
Yeah.
by a composer called Sergei. I can't pronounce his surname. It's that's it.
Mm.
Thank you. And you should come up on stage. And he's very well known. I mean, I grew up with classical music. I mean, he's done loads of. I mean, in fact, BBC's Apprentice. That theme is actually from him as well. But Peter and the Wolf was first made in 1933, I think, or maybe even older than that. I think definitely 1930 something. And so it's definitely like nearly 90 years old, actually. And then it started off as a children's book because the animals and the instruments, and then there was loads of audio tapes. There was one with David Bowie in the 70s, which is a really good piece. Boris Karloff as well, he did a Peter and the Wolf adaptation. Sergei's wife actually even did one many years ago. Also, I grew up with the Disney version, of course, the Walt Disney classic. And then there's even a stop motion adaptation as well, which won an Oscar. In fact, we bumped into the DVD on the BFI.
Oh, yeah,
it's on the
yeah,
shelf
that's
at the
really
BFI, so you can find it. I don't know if anyone's brought it yet. And then obviously, now there's my film in the
And all
collection.
the characters seemed like they really enjoyed their parts.
Rennie did especially.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah,
cuts a
full
team
character.
over
Rennie got into it. He actually proper pushed Sammy
Yeah.
down the stairs.
a week.
Yeah, had to take it to A&E.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah.
Is that good? Is that good?
Oh God. Oh God.
See, that's
Health and
what-
safety.
suffer
Health and
for it.
safety.
Yeah.
Gentle.
Okay, has anyone got another question?
So, you put the music together with like the action. I really like the way it fitted with the actions and the timing.
That's all him.
That's me.
Yeah.
We did have a composer for this film, but unfortunately his schedule was too much to do. So to do a test version of this film, this is the test version, by the way. This is the film, but it's 97% what you see is what is the actual final piece. But for the music, because Peter and the Wolf, there's loads of different versions of the music. And also there's a little bit of public domain Christmassy songs I added as well, because obviously I wanted to keep that Christmassy theme. So I put the music all together and, I listened to the symphony about 1,000 times. But I had to match which part was correct, because I didn't just want to repeat the same, when the wolf comes, it's always the three horns, when it's the cat, it's always the clarinet, because otherwise people are going to think, oh my God, it's just on and on and on. So I had to mix a few of the tones together. And when I was doing it, I was thinking, because it has to match the tone, the feel. And even though some of it doesn't match the actual characters, it's not about the actual matching, it's about the feel of it, if that makes sense. How you feel when you watch it. So when you see the three characters, the duck, cat and the bird, you sort of feel a little bit happy. But then when the wolf comes along, it then plays the suspense music. Like I said, it's like my Jaws. So it's like, trouble. Kimberly, did you have a question? Because you kept putting your hand up, bless you.
I was going to say, how did you meet the actors? Like, how did you...
eBay.
Oh, right, yeah. Good.
Highest bidder, yeah.
Highest bidder. Yeah,
Sammy only cost 50p.
Nobody wants Nobody wants
Calm down. Well, actually, why don't you guys explain how you guys met me? Because
Okay, so I met Reese at a charity organisation that we both went to. I still go to, Make a Difference Entertainment.
That was it. I met Reese on Twitter. That's where you meet people.
oh, Ryan, a year ago, yesterday, did you see the?
Oh yeah, happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, yeah,
We're proper bromance now.
Yeah, I met Reese on Twitter. What were you were auditioning for?
He's been in 3 films I've done.
Yeah.
No, 3. Yeah, 3. He's 3. Cash in the Ponds,
Cash in the Pond, Dodo,
Dodo.
and Peter and the Wolf.
and you're going to do a 4th one.
And
So,
the 4th
yeah,
one,
you're doing
yeah.
the 4th one. Yeah. Sorry, did you want to carry on?
That's where I met you.
Okay. You keep interrupting him.
I'm asking.
Okay. Yeah, he met me on Twitter because I was looking for a scientist actor, and
We had a
Ryan-
very one-sided Skype chat because I didn't have a Skype camera. So he was like, "Where are you?" He was like, "I have no camera, so you're just talking."
he was
to
just
a
scared to
black
show his face.
screen." Yeah. That's funny.
No, but when I emailed you the script, you said you loved the ending, didn't you?
Yeah, the ending was very good.
Yeah, and
You had me running around woods a lot of your films.
Yeah, that seems to be the easiest
And
setting
getting
to
chased
go
and
for.
mauled by dogs as well, as we found
Yes.
out.
Yes.
got chased
Yeah.
by dogs.
Chased by dogs. Chris's dog
Yeah,
made us all to death.
twice.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah,
It
twice.
was twice.
Twice.
Mm.
And in the Peter and the Wolf film, it was
Mm.
twice, yeah.
It was Izzy I felt sorry for because she dressed up like a cat. I thought they were going to go after her. I told her to run up a tree. Rennie?
We met through social media, wasn't it?
We did, yeah.
And,
Instagram though, this time.
Yeah, and I just liked that project at the time, and we met, didn't we?
Yeah.
Over in Ealing, and yeah, it was good. Something different,
Yeah.
you know, you don't do before, and you think, yeah, I want to do this because it's different, and it's something that obviously attracts all the audiences, isn't it? You know, you're sitting there. I was watching it and thinking, this would be lovely, you know, for loads of kids to sit there, watch it, and they'll be intrigued and they'll stay glued to it
Yeah.
because of the costumes and the concept. But gifted young man. I said that to him the first day I met him. And since then it's snowballed into other things that
Yeah.
we're all involved in. So
This man took me under his wing, really. Brought me all the, introduced me to a lot of great people.
and you know,
Having
there's a
this
lot
share.
of great
Yeah.
stuff that we're doing in the near future,
Yeah.
which Reese is going to be involved in, and vice versa. But happy days for the future. That's all I will say. Great.
Excellent. Any other questions? No? Brian, do you have a question?
What percentage of your films would you say are going to be completely fresh versus stuff which you've sort of seen, watched, and you're taking aspects of other films?
We mean not from fairy tales and stuff like that?
Yeah, in other words, so what percentage you doing completely fresh your own versus stuff you're taking
It's like,
from other films? Like say
Most of our stuff is original.
Yeah?
I mean, we've got the Danger Club as well.
Yeah, that's going to be really good.
Yeah,
That's gonna
he's
be-
actually playing 2 roles in that, Charlie,
Yeah.
which we'll talk about that later. But that's something.
So most are original, and then of the
Yeah.
ones that you are taking, let's say, aspects of other films, what makes you choose those things other than is it just that you like them? Let's say Peter and the Wolf.
It's not just about
It's good to
liking them.
change
It's
them.
also because the audience like it as well. I mean, Peter and the Wolf is a very popular symphony story.
Yeah.
It's just like Alice in Wonderland. That's
Yeah,
a really
sure.
popular story. And when I say to actors who, when I go for castings, I speak to them, they want to join it because they love them stories.
Yeah.
In fact, we actually had about 5 women for Alice because they love Alice in Wonderland. And obviously we had to pick one, but they all wanted to join because of that story. And funny thing, when Izzy heard about Peter and the Wolf, she knew the story, but the only reason she wanted to do it is because she really loves cats. And she actually does own 2 black cats because we filmed another project with her, and they just stare at me when I went round. They did. They just looked at me like that. But it's not as bad as her cat, my girlfriend's cat, honestly. But what was great as well is that when Rennie, especially, because he seemed the most like wow about it. It was so funny, but he was like, I want to do this role because you knew about Peter and the Wolf, didn't you? But you said you wanted to take on that role because, did you say you'd never done a silent film before as well?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because actually, the funniest thing ever, right? Ryan knew what the script was about. He was like, I want to do a silent film. That's great. Sammy was like, I want to do the silent film. Sent the script to Rennie. He read it. He was like, I love it, but where's the dialogue? And so that meant I was thinking he was going through the script going, wow, where's my lines? And then he messaged me, so I love it, where's the dialogue? I said, it's a silent film. I did put it on the casting, because on my Instagram I put, I'm looking for an actor for this silent movie. Did you just see, I want this movie? Did you just count the silent bit?
I like the concept.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the dialogue to come.
It's like from your
It just made like, because you said you loved it, but then you were like, but where's my lines? I could just imagine him going through it.
I guess you were looking for the dialogue out of habit, when you were picking up from the other
Absolutely.
scripts. It's like when you read the whole entire script, you're actually reading the story rather than actually looking for dialogue that you're speaking out.
Yeah,
So
even
it's
though
like,
you-
it's hypnosis, you think, okay, I've got that. Here's the dialogue.
Easy to learn.
Yeah, I mean, I did get get a couple of people saying about the dialogue, but I definitely said it's Peter and the Wolf and there's no dialogue. It's not, I mean, there's narration, but there's no dialogue, and I didn't want to do dialogue because I feel like sometimes dialogue ruins some films. You know, it depends on the film. And with Peter and the Wolf, it's going to be a bit. I mean, what can a duck say to a cat? You know, you know, it's just it doesn't. I mean, I know they're humans and they're just like.
I heard some interesting stuff behind the scenes, but that's a different story.
Yeah, that's why there was no dialogue. We could say whatever we wanted. When I was chatting to Ryan, I was literally talking about, I don't know, what was I talking about?
I think we were just trying. I think the main thing that when we were, because obviously it was a silent film, but what was rather amusing was the fact that every time we went to film it, and Reese went action, we were like, shh, shh, quiet. I'm like, oh, it's a silent film. Keep talking.
And also, there was like, oh, should we keep my phones off? No, it's a silent film. If your phone rings, don't answer it, but just leave it on.
Just don't walk in front of the camera when you answer
Yeah. Oh, hello. Just playing a ducky, you know. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, that's something for you. So you said you've done a lot of films and a lot of shorts. Where's your inspiration come from to do so many and to keep going?
Yeah, quite a bit, don't you?
I do.
You've been script writing for years, haven't you?
Well, I started. Do you remember I used to write stories?
That's
and
what I
then
was telling Rennie.
yeah, I used to write stories, and then I started as a inspiration. Okay.
I think the main inspiration was from when we were at school, like when we were doing the comics and writing storyboards. From
Yeah,
because
because I used.
You'd done a film at school, didn't you?
It was animation.
It was an animated
You'd done an
film.
animated
I wasn't part of it, but you know, it was.
Yeah,
It was
I
like
wasn't
an
you.
animated-
You was.
Yeah, because I did a lot when I was in school from 12 to 14, 15. I did a lot of comic books, and I did a lot of because I grew up with Tom and Jerry, Looney Tunes, and all that. I still watch them to this day, to be honest. And you know, animation was always a great thing because I used to draw. Because it was always like so peaceful for me. As a child, I used to draw. Do you remember? I remember as a kid, I used to hog the telly sometimes. I used to pause a Disney film and start drawing. My dad used to walk and go, "Oh, he's hogging the telly again." You know, he's drawing again. And no, but yeah, animation was sort of started off, and then I started doing an animated short film because the school said they wanted me to do one, and we did the stop motion film, which was Horrorland, and.
That was funny when I was young.
Yeah.
That was screened. They won. Did you tell them?
Yeah, it was just.
You got second place out of that, didn't you?
Yeah, I got 2 certificates.
Yeah.
One was for best animated short film of 2006, and then the other was it won second place out of 250 films.
Yeah.
In Bradford.
And that was shown in Bradford. Was it Birmingham or
Bradford?
Bradford, yeah.
And then that's when I said that's what I want to do, like films and animation. And then 4 years later, I did another one, which was about a squirrel, stop motion squirrel. Yeah. Yeah, so I did another stop motion film, and then 2012 was when we started off.
Yeah.
We did because when I was in college, I did media for 3 years. Or was it 2? No, 2 years. Sorry, 2 years, 3 years.
You were in college, yeah. I think you did meet. You
3
did
years.
Something.
Yeah, 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, 2015. So that's when I left. Yeah. And we did a short film. This is all on my YouTube channel, by the way, called The UK Beast. That was our first little
And
then
thing.
we did one in my dad's flat, our own one.
Oh yeah, that was
breaking in. That's when we're stuck in the shower. It's
Yeah.
crap. By the way. When you look at the film from then to now, you're gonna. Oh, yeah, you're filming this, so you knew. Okay. You could have brought some scissors. This isn't part of the act, ladies and gentlemen.
Be careful, it's a dog.
Well, if it's a dog, it sounds dead. You didn't put Louis in it, did you, Karen? Louis the cat, by the way. Don't worry, it's not the human. It's a box, I love it! Just put that there for now. Oh, by the way, if you guys do have mess, please clean up, because if they charge me for it, then I'll just blame you guys. I know where you're all seated. 20 minutes later. If anyone wants to have a toilet break, feel free.
Best not, because we've got 10 minutes left.
We've got to do the picture soon as well, anyway.
Oh yeah, that's true.
What's in there? Oh! Oh! Hey! an Oscar. Rhys Madigan, Best Filmmaker of The Wolf, 2017. It was yours idea, wasn't it?
You deserve it.
I'm going to marry her one day.